What's going on, Gemini? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a great week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, your shares, keeping this guy coming back and keeping us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of November 13th through the 19th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems are happy to see you. It's going to be a good old time. Now I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corners are going to be some future options that we're going to play around with. The bottom left is going to be some perspectives you may want to consider to assist you in the nature of the problem. And finally, the bottom right will be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case y'all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are super cool, so I'll show you those all throughout. And I included a link down in the description box below in case you want to, I don't know, get your own and, pull with me, Good company all around. So, but all that being said, higher self, what do we have in store for Gemini this week? Let me get your cards pulled and then we will get to it. Okay. Oof. Heavy. That's all right. Ooh, there you are. So it's okay. You can't say, there you go. Okay, hold on. Let me get the rest of your cards pulled before we get into this thing. Nice. Because, man, you're going to be so compassionate after this, Gemini. It's going to be unreal. Bam. Okay. Yeah, let me get these cards all situated. Kind of sit with them for a second, and then we will get to it. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. All right. Okay, Gemini. I think I got it. So, for the nature of your problem this week, I think this might have been the nature of your problem last week. We have the 5 of Cups here. I'm going to have to look into that. And then the cards that came along with it are the Prince of Cups and the 9 of Swords. Now, with the 5 of Cups being the nature of your problem this week, I feel like we are... we're feeling a little down this week. We're feeling a little disappointment. And not even just like disappointment. I feel like maybe we've had something, maybe something has derailed us a little bit. There's might have been some like unexpected disturbances, but I do feel like that overall I'm really, and even this could be a card of maybe some regrets that we're holding on to, because that's what the 5 of Cups has to encompass. It's worries, it's a lot of past thinking, because I don't think we plan on being disappointed. But I feel like we're dragging the past along with us, and it's really kind of coloring our present and our future stuff. Well, not really coloring your future. Your future's looking. We're gonna have some fun playing around with that. But right now, I do feel like we're in this place of just like things. I feel like something didn't work out right for you here. And it's really got you in this place of just like I feel like we're being kind of hesitant about where we want to. Where we're going to go next. I feel like, and that's kind of, it's getting to this place of where we're getting in a spiral here. And I only say that because we have the 9 of Swords here, which this is Mars and Gemini. So I feel like we might be at war with ourselves right now. Because the 9 of Swords is a card of cruelty. It's a card of just being very mean to yourself. I feel like it's one of those things that you kind of beat up on you. You're in that negative mindset. It's just like, man, I hate that this happened. If only I had did this right. If such and such, it's like, once we've gotten here, all these swords heard that you were serving drinks at the dinner party. So this one, 5 of them invited 4 more, and now they're asking for like 4 more cups. And it's just become this whole big crazy analogy here. And you know what? It's one of those things, Gemini. I'm glad that it's here in the sense that like now we can air it out because you've seen it, I've seen it, we can talk about it. And that's what the Prince of Cups is here. And that's kind of why I saved him for last, because he's my card of don't suffer in silence. If this is one of those things where we have been getting in this place of just like this weird sort of like weird sword party that we're hosting, and I'm not laughing to make to diminish the nature of your problem. I'm hoping that with that, we can try to bring a little light to these cards, because that's all that this is trying to do. These situations here, both the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Swords, in their own kind of unique way, let's put it, they're just trying to strengthen us up. And the thing I've been trying to talk, kind of emphasizing with these cards is, we can, if we paint them out to be the villain, they will absolutely do that if that's going to help us get our growth where we need to be. But I will say that it's one of those things. Yeah, don't let that fester, because you see over here, on the outside, everything is cool, calm, collected, which I feel like you've been kind of holding this you've been trying to hold it together and not really, maybe you're addressing it, but for the most part, we're just trying to power through the day. But if you look back in the horizon here, under all this calm, there are these storm clouds that brewing, all this steam that's building up. And that's eventually going to get to this place where it's just going to blow up. It's just going to blow up, and then we're going to have to face this. Then it's going to be a whole party, and we're going to have to get people some drinks here. So, I don't know how we got into this party analogy, but and that could be something, you might need to, I feel like maybe we just need something to kind of liven up our world a little bit, so that we can get in a better place to deal with these cups. Because one thing I like, with these swords, and honestly these cups too. Because one more thing on this, and then we're going to play in the future. I'd like to say, just if we want to take our first steps, really start trying to address these things, break them down, start off small. It's like, this one invited all these other swords, so who is this guy? Let's find out what's going on here, because he started this whole thing. So let's figure out this sword, then we'll, next sword, and then when you're feeling good, we've got a third of them down. Maybe we'll tackle 2 swords this week just because we're feeling good. And I don't know if I even finished up with my Prince of Cups here. My thing with him, just like, if you feel comfortable doing this, because this is not, it's not medical advice. I wouldn't tell you what to do, but I do feel like there might be some help if we want to reach out to our inner circle. Find someone that you confide in, and you could just kind of work these situations out, because sometimes too, it just hearing some kind of fresh perspective, kind of getting some outside just opinions might help us get these tools to kind of break this party up a little bit so that we can deal with them. So, all right, let's play in the future here, because I think we're gonna, and maybe that's why you came up here. You wanted me to uplift you. Well, you came to the right place, because check this out. We got the 4 of Cups here, got the Fortune here, and we got Ace of Wands, that's some big stuff coming from here. I told you, look what's going to happen. You're going to be so compassionate after this, and you're going to go out and get it. But right now, I feel like we need to make sure we're addressing this stuff, because with the 4 of Cups, this is my card of this is my card of gratitude, being grateful for the lessons which is a weird way of putting it, but just being grateful for the strengths that come from these cards, but also to not let this stuff kind of sully your cups. Because with the 4 of Cups, this is like the seeds of decay and the fruits of pleasure. Or this can be like, there's this anxiety in our, we're trying to have this fun, but there's like always this low-key anxiety. Because if you look at this card here, the storm, skies are starting to gray, the waters are getting a little choppy, we're getting ready to, I feel like our facade is breaking here. And that's not where we want to be. And I feel like once you start dealing with this, your fortune is going to start to change. Your destiny is going to start to change, because that's what this card is about. It's a card of good fortune and of destiny. And I feel like in the sense of that, you're going to start shifting your destiny and your future in a whole different direction, because that's the lovely thing. And that's why I've kind of changed the verbiage of instead of like what you consider, what we're going to play around with, because the nice thing about the future is it's whatever we paint in the present. So if we're in this situation and we're starting to get, we're being compassionate with ourselves, we're starting to get the lessons from this and stuff, that's fortune in itself. That's a great fortune, absolutely, because then you can go out once you've gotten that energy and we start getting back on track. We can start getting some things done again. We can start getting that momentum, because that's what the Ace of Wands is about. This is like the roots of the powers of fire, and this is about getting that vitality back, that vigor, that just that strength that's been maybe that's been seeming kind of fleeting here the last couple weeks. Because I get when you're dealing with stuff like this, that definitely can drain on that's a lot. That drains on your energy. But again, you don't have to, take it at your own pace, but it doesn't have to be tackled all in a day, but as long as we are addressing it and getting these things to where we need to be, I really do like that, because that's the first I've kind of read the fortune like that, where it's like, that's because that really is getting that clarity, feeling, like we're getting back to equilibrium again. That's a jackpot in itself. And you know what? While I'm talking about getting back to equilibrium here, check this out, Gemini. You showed up for yourself. The Lovers, this is your card here, the Prince of Wands, and the Four of Swords. Now, with this Lovers here, with you here, this is exactly what I'm talking about, getting back to that equilibrium, getting back to the place where Gemini feels like one again. Because I get it, we're a sign of duality. I have my moons in Gemini. So I can get, if you've been, especially when you're trying to deal with stuff, if you're looking at it from a bunch of different angles, that can, I can see why there's a party here, because that our minds can sometimes get all over the place. We're considering from all avenues. But I do feel like once you start taking this time and really in addressing these, you're going to get this oneness again, because you start with this is the alchemical marriage, and it's like you got your masculine and your feminine side here. And I feel like as we come to learn ourselves and mature in that and getting to that oneness, we can become more attuned with our higher self here. And I also like too with the Lovers, this is my card of when it does pop out, I like to think it's like your higher self just kind of winking at you. So just know that if you've been feeling alone, if you've been feeling like this has just been just so much and insurmountable, I'm here for you. Your higher self is here for you. And more importantly, you're there for you. You did it. Because that's, I love when zodiac cards show up for their signs like that. That to me is just like, if you needed some kind of affirmation that things are definitely gonna turn the corner, let that be the one. And you know what? While we're waiting on that to come, because again, everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different. We're going to need that courage to come up and face these issues and to get up every day and tackle this. And sometimes, we may not be enthusiastic, because this is a new thing that I've been kind of starting with these cards, sort of painting them in like a addressing their darker natures, but adding some light to it. And that just might be what you have to do. If it's not something you're familiar with, just fake it till you make it, because that's on a base level, that's what the Prince of Wands is for me. Just faking it till you make it, and it's not that we're ignoring it. It's just like, this is not ideal. I don't know who invited you all, but you can't just sit here passed out on my floor. We're gonna have to, you get up. Get up. We're dealing with you right now. Let's do it. And I feel like just having that if you can find a way, to have, and this is just one possible way, play around with it how you want. But that could be one way to help deal with these issues, so that we can get back to that balance place again. Because the Four of Swords is a card of that rest after difficulty, that passage from tough times, getting back to that, finding just that equilibrium again. This is Jupiter and Libra here, so this is like getting that, we're taking our fortune here, and we're getting balanced again. Because I really do feel like overall, that's the tone that I'm getting here. It's we're just feeling out of whack, and we're getting to this place of just like, oh, what is going on? Well, you is what's going on, and you are doing some good stuff here. I really do like this future things here. Now let's move to this some perspectives here that might assist you. Because over here, you have the Prince of Swords, you have the Six of Disc, and then there's the Tower. Because Tower's been what a bud. Tower's just been popping up all over the place. We're getting towards the tail end of Scorpio season. We just had the lunar eclipse, so there's energy might still be feeling a little erratic right now. And but with the Prince of Swords here, the Prince of Swords is a card of very intellectual man, super smart. The one, full of ideas. The one thing is with him that sometimes he can be maybe a little indecisive. He kind of lacks direction. I feel like especially if we've been in this energy and just not quite sure what to do with it, that can definitely get us off our mental game a little bit, and it can get us to a place maybe it's starting to affect our mood. So we're trying to find some direction. We're just like, I just want to go, and it's like imagine this is you trying to go, and you're just like, go get it, and it's just like, well, where do you want to go? I want to go to the movies. I want to go home, and I want to go to bed. And you know what? You might need to do all those things to make you get to a better place. It might be just some time to get some clarity back. Get some direction. Let's get the reins on this thing. I feel like which is interesting. I hadn't thought about them like this, but I feel like with this stuff, things have kind of gotten just a little out of control. Our fairies are going all over the place, and we just need to kind of rein them back in. Kind of get our ducks back in a row so that we can get to this success here. Get to this Six of Disc where we can look at our accomplishments. We can look at this and really see it for the fortune that it is. And this is not to say too, the disc can deal with business matters. So this could be money coming in as well. I'm all for some while you're healing yourself, if you're making some money along the way, absolutely. You're getting back on your game. Let's get our finances back up too, because if your mental state's not good, sometimes your finances suffer too. So I'm absolutely get everything back in balance. But I do feel like you're gonna get just that emotional too as well. Let me not short your abundance. You not only if we're getting money as well, but we're just gonna get that from emotional fulfillment again, get that reward. And I feel like this is with this Tower coming up. This isn't necessarily because I feel like we're in a Tower moment right here. Not these two, but all this. Let's hold on, because I feel like we might be in a just like a small tower right now, in the sense of I feel like you're coming to that clarity. You've been in this chaos for a little bit. We've been seeing our ex has been blocked by this fire-breathing mouth here, who invited him to the party? No idea. And then everyone's like, yo, who invited him to this party? And we're all jumping. It's a lot going on. But I do feel like we're more so getting at this clarity here. Because I feel, because we're here now, Gemini. You've seen it, I've seen it. We're hashing it out here. And I feel like you're going to get the clarity that from this chaos that you see from here. We're not going to be the snake where we're because I know that's not what he means, but I love that his halo there gives me just like a surprise, like what's going on with all this tower stuff. And the dove is just like, no, we're taking our fortune, we're taking our success from these lessons, and we're going to go out and we're going to just go plant new seeds. We're going to wait till this calms down, and we're going to start fresh. We're going to start anew. And you know what? That's kind of nicely. That's going to bring me home here. Higher self, tell Gemini what's going on. Because we got the Seven of Disc here, we got the Prince of Disc, and we got the Queen of Disc. Trifecta right there, three of a kind. Now, you're like, Justin, what is this? I know how it looks, but hear me out. Because with the Seven of Disc, I do feel like the reason that this, the higher self is even bringing this up is to say that you are not a failure. Because this is a card of failure, of unmet goals, of maybe, putting in this energy, but not getting the same, the rewards don't match the work, if that makes sense. And I feel like this is saying that, this is Saturn and Taurus. I really just say, like, you're not a failure. This is not, you've just been dealing with a lot. And it may seem like fails, you know, but I don't feel like that's the case here. I feel like this is your higher self letting you know that, listen, this is going to be tough. You're going to hit some snags in the road. You're going to come across some hurdles, you know, but that's not to do this to break you down, to make you feel like a failure. We're trying to get you out of that mindset, if anything. And that's where I feel like this, having that tenacity, having that that perseverance, that patience with yourself, showing that compassion, and that's going to get you, that's what the Prince of Disc is calling upon here. You know, just making sure that you keep that in mind, that this is going to take some work. You know, mindfulness, compassion, all of that. This is a moment by moment thing. And that's not to make you where it's like, oh my gosh, like it's going to be too much. It doesn't have to be. Take it one step at a time. Let this be your first step. You know what? Look at that. We've started here. Now sit with that for a little bit. Process that. Meditate on that a little bit. Because then look at what's happened. Look how you've leveled up. You went from a prince, now you a whole queen. Oh, queen. And look at all this stuff that you got to work with now. Because now, what I love about the Queen of Disc is she can look out at this whole field here and just be like, oh, there's no way I'm going to do this. I've in the past, I've done this. That's not worked. I'm not feeling in this place. It's going to fail. I'm not with it. Or, you know, this is very light challenge, you know. Or, you know, we could switch this on its head, give it a we can switch things on its head here. Oh, hold on one second. And we can think about this card as, oh, I have all this to work with. I have this project is a blank canvas, and I can repaint this image as you want. This could be you, Gemini. This project here, you know what? Let's go ahead and I think it's a safe place to transition back over, because a couple of the last things on with this Queen of Discs, because I do love that this is kind of like your finisher here, because this is a big level up. And I do feel like if you look at it with that anticipation, with these energies, just like how I was kind of, even this tower, all this stuff here, you know, coming at it with that just kind of a lighter heart. And I do feel like that's going to make it so that you can, that this doesn't feel so daunting, you know, that this isn't just like, oh, you know, we get out of bed and we're just like, yes, like, okay, I got some mindfulness to take care of. Like, you know, okay, let's get this, you know, I'm gonna sit aside some time whenever you can to just deal with these things. Just, I feel like as long as we are keeping that momentum, keeping that drive, we're going to be Queen of Discing in no time. And everything's going to be beautiful again. And we're going to be able to make the most of this Ace of Wands. And we're going to go out and get our fortune, because we showed up for ourselves. And we were strong in doing, we were courageous and strong in doing it. Yeah, Gemini. That might have been an aggressive ending. But I just want you to know that I feel I have, despite how we've started, look how we ended. And that's exactly what I feel like this whole journey is, just to remind you that it's gonna happen, you know, the waxing and waning of life. But at the end of the day, none of this, it's this state is not permanent. You know, it's always constantly changing. Just once you get used to riding that wave, it's like, oh, okay, I'm kind of in a low slump. Okay, but I see the high slump. Here it comes. Yes, fortune. Yeah, yeah, all that, Gemini. All right, I think that's enough of that. Now we're getting silly. I just want to get a laugh out of you. So if hopefully that resonated with you. If you haven't already, lost my train of thought there, subscribe, like, share, do all those YouTube things. And to get just a better picture of yourself, to kind of help you deal with all of this stuff, check your moon, check your rising. And this week we're checking our Saturn. Not that Saturn's doing anything crazy, but I just feel like it's one of those things. Did we not have? Never mind. But I do feel like it's one of those things when we have a better idea of not only just the weaknesses that we can face, but also the strengths that we have available to us as well. It can I feel like it's going to help you better get used to that riding that wave, because then you can you just add a layer, you're adding more depth to yourself, and you can approach these things in a way that you get this flexibility and this adaptability to be in that. And you know what else can also help you with that? Some of this stuff in Celestial News Weekly. That's what'll help you. I know, right? It's like, Justin, what are you doing? I'm trying to lift up the spirits, Gemini. That's what we're trying to do. We want you in good shape again. Okay, let me get some tea, and we're going to get into the news here. All right. So, on the 16th, Venus is going to be entering Sagittarius. And we're moving. Look at that. We're going from one party. Sagittarius told you we're throwing a party and it got jealous. So now it invited Venus over. And with this energy, I'm moving on. The romantic energy is getting kind of lighter, you know, because that Venus is about, you know, that sensuality, beauty, aesthetics. So it's just like we're going from that kind of heavy, sort of like, you know, deep, you know, Scorpio, we were doing all those deep feels and really getting to the nitty gritty of it. Now we're getting in Sagittarius, things are getting a little bit lighter. We're starting to move, you know, we're taking the lessons that we learned from there. And now we're there's going to be this impetus to pursue a truth there or find a higher meaning in what we love. So, I feel like this is going to be a good time too, while we're working through this stuff, these past regrets, you know, these things that have been kind of holding us back, you know, keeping in mind what is it that fulfills us, what is it that makes our lover sense tingle, if you will, you know, what sparks our imagination, our creativity, what's going to get us to that place. And you know what, while you're thinking about that, it's going to be a good time too, because on the same day, it's the last quarter moon. And this is like harvesting time. And it's kind of like finding out what's not working, you know, taking everything that is, and, you know, investing more in that, and then kind of trimming the stuff that's not serving us a purpose, either putting it to the side or maybe even removing it completely. But, you know, it's really just sort of like, where'd you go, Tower? It's kind of just like that, out with the old, in with the new type of energy. So definitely try to make the most of that energy as you're going through this kind of transformative state. Because you don't have any cards, like you don't have the Death card, the Hangman, or anything like that, but I do feel like there's a transformation happening all the same. Just with this, there's clarity coming on the horizon. So just keep that in mind. Next, your ruler is going to be going into, Mercury is going to be going into Sagittarius as well, because now we're going on to a different party. Look at this. Look at how we're celebrating. Party train, Gemini. Now we're in Sagittarius, and this is a good time for like philosophizing, for passionate debates, and just like keeping an open mind for things. So again, you know how I was saying, don't suffer in silence. Maybe reach out to someone. You know, kind of keeping an open mind, taking what resonates with you, leaving the rest with them, but hearing out what they have to say about your situation. You know, maybe they'll provide that little nugget or something, you know, because sometimes it's one thing if we hear it in our head and we're working out, but it's like when someone else says it and they might even say the same thing or maybe slightly tweak it a little bit. You can have this just like, oh my goodness, that makes total sense. Oh my gosh, now we can tackle it. So just kind of keep an open mind while we're going through this energy as well. Let's do some aspects, and then we get your surprise card, get you out of here. The sun is going to be trine with Neptune, and with this energy is kind of shining a light on our imagination and our spirituality. So what better time to, you know, work with this energy to kind of get back in touch with your higher self. And then when you've gotten all this, you know, you've taken all this time, you've gotten so compassionate and all this stuff, you can take this energy and go out and help others, because you're going to feel also, or you may feel this like psychic attunement to people that's going to give you these sort of peaceful feelings. And then we can kind of go out and, you know, when someone else is going through this thing, it gives you that strength to kind of help them, kind of guide them through this. Just like, listen, I get it. I just came out of it. And guess what? Here's some tools that, you know, pass these tools along. Tell them what works for you. And just like, and then look at that. We've started, now the party, look at this party that you're throwing. It's just, Gemini's throwing the biggest party, and the theme is compassion. I am so with it. And the crystals that might be good to work with this energy are sunstone and a celestite. Next, um, because Mercury and Venus are having such a good time. They're conjunct with one another right now. Mercury is conjunct with Venus. And again, you know how Venus is bringing that sensual energy. I feel like during this time, our approach to life is going to be a little more debonair, a little bit suave, kind of smooth, very James Bond. I don't know if that's how James Bond sounds. I got to work on that. But right now, with this energy, conversations are going to be more so, might be more so focused on like the finer things in life. You know, like the art and romance, finances, you know, going out, let's wine and dine. You know, it's a good time. I feel like if we have to get any kind of like negotiations or want to do any kind of collaborations, the atmosphere is prime for it, just because I feel like people are a little more receptive with this energy that's going on. So definitely keep that in mind. I don't know, hands, what are you doing? Just definitely keep that in mind when you're going through this energy. Okay, you're just gonna do what you want. And some crystals that will work around with this are some quartz or an opal will help as well. And then lastly, you got Mars, good old Mars. He's squared with good old Jupiter. Love it, Gemini. And with this, you're going to feel an overabundance of energy. Gemini, this is written for you. I don't, obviously. But you're going to feel this overabundance of energy as I'm feeling. And you might feel like you want to move mountains. And maybe this is why you kind of got in a funk too, because you have all this energy, but you've just been feeling so down. But this is a good time too. This is very Knight of Wands energy. And the Knight of Wands, my thing with him is he brings it. When he's passionate trailblazer. He's a great guy. My only caveat is when he's going and he's not being mindful of where he's going. That's the best recipe for a hanged man situation. So it's just one of those things. While you're dealing with this compassion, I feel like there's a smart way that we can expend this energy while we're doing our healing, you know, and it's just like doing it with chunks. You know, you don't have to bring it 100 every day, whatever your 100 is looking like for that moment, and then just apply that, and then just keep doing that, adjust, and then we're going to get that groove. And then Gemini's balanced, everything is great. I love it, Gemini. Let me get you a surprise card. I appreciate you sticking with me. Get the surprise card here. Yes. Four of Wands. Because that's basically what I said. Completion. That's what this card is about. This is about, you know, you've put in that time, you've got that rest, you know, like you've put in the work, and now you can appreciate and look at this work, because working on yourself, that is an accomplishment too. That is worthy of praise. That is worthy of looking back and saying like, man, I was at this place, you know, maybe however long ago. Look where I'm at now. We're happy again. Our vibrations are higher. We've taken these lessons. We're not holding this stuff anymore. We've taken that backpack. We've gotten what we need, and now we're going out and getting it. You know, that's a great. I feel like that's a really great note to end on, Gemini. So keep the hope strong, because I see there's some great stuff on the horizon here. But keep that hope strong. Stay safe out there. Keep raising that vibration, and I will catch you on the next one later.